What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig, and we are going to be going over the charts as usual. We're also going to talk a little bit about how markets work, why they move, why I believe the news is in the charts. So that old saying that show me the charts, I'll tell you the news is valid in my opinion, and I'll show you why and I'll show you some examples here. But before we begin, make sure you guys do one thing, and I'll give you a second out. Every time I take a second and pause and wait for you guys, I seem to get more likes. So take a second out, smash those likes. I'll wait a second and leave your comments down below. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you want daily updates on the most accurate TA channel on YouTube. So far, we have been calling all this out almost absolutely perfect. So let's take a look at what's going on. Are we going to see a bottom this year, or is it going to be at the end of next year, which I believe is more plausible, but we'll take a look at it, see what's going on. Taking a look at first we'll look at the Dow Jones. Obviously the Dow Jones, like I said, there could be a chance for one more wick up to retest this RSI up here, making this like an ending fifth wave diagonal would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with one more wake up here possible. But we've been talking about, there's most definitely, by everything in the charts, saying that we're going to probably have a huge dump in the traditional markets. And Bitcoin has never seen a traditional bear market. So Bitcoin's whole existence was in a bull market for the traditional markets, right? So a true bear market may hurt Bitcoin a lot worse than people believe. So let's take a look at what's going on. Obviously, this is still what I'm looking at. I showed you guys this bearish divergence making higher highs in the price action, lower highs in the RSI on the daily, right? So that's an uptrend on the daily showing bearish divergence, which is a reversal of the trend. If we look at it on the weekly, right, the bigger time frame, we have from this high here, we have higher highs in the price action, or lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI. That's hidden bearish divergence. Hidden divergence is a continuation of the trend. The trend is down, it's hidden bearish, that's a continuation of the trend. Most likely, we continue to the downside for the Dow. Like I said, looking at the daily, there's a possibility for one more spike up, but nevertheless, it's looking like it's going to roll over and roll over hard when it does. So be careful, be cautious. The DXY, so far we're getting our bounce here from this rising channel, came back for a retest. Does look like it's playing out. As you guys know, my target's 122 for the next big target, and then probably correction around that area, which will line up with Bitcoin's false bottom, probably February or March, and then continue on up to make new all-time highs in the big picture. DXY making new all-time highs. So we talked about this. This is the daily chart, and if you look at this 200 EMA right here, we wicked down below it a little bit, and I said that was a good possibility. It's still possible we could wick down below it again, right? Look back here on the daily, back in the 80s, you can see that was major support. We wicked down below it a few times all the way on our way up, but it was huge. I think it's the same type thing. We had all the inflation back then. We had high interest rates pumping back then. Everything is the same, right? Markets often repeat everything along with the news, right? I do believe that all markets are controlled, and news and media is used as narratives to explain why they make their big moves. I've explained this many, many times, like with all the FTX stuff going on. I think he was just a pawn, and it's just the major, I don't know, the major entities controlling the market use that stuff to explain why things happen, right? And the reason I'm saying that, if you guys watched my videos from December 2nd, I told you there would be a big crypto scam washout. Didn't know exactly what it was going to be, and I still think there's a lot more to come, like with you know, all these crap coins and whatnot, all this. There's so much scammy crap in here, and I was warning everyone that all this crypto scam was going to get washed out, just like in the .com bubble when all the scammy .com companies got washed out, right? Crypto needed this, and I don't think this is over. Let me explain. Before we go into the Bitcoin chart, if you guys are interested in trading, I do suggest checking out Prime XBT. Links down below. They do help support the channel. They are a sponsor of the channel now. And if you use my promo code Savvy50, you can get up to a $7,000 bonus to use towards your margins. Savvy25 can get you 25% off of your fees, your trading fees. That you can trade crypto, forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, tons of stuff, all from one exchange. You can have multiple trades in if you like to hedge your trades. They don't clump them all together like the scam exchanges, and they don't trade against you like the scam exchanges. Definitely check them out. I'll also leave a tutorial at the end of the video, or you can go to my YouTube page and check the tutorial out there. Let's take a look at this falling channel on the daily. On Bitcoin, we also been watching the RSI. It does look like we're getting rejected here on this trend line. I do believe the RSI will come back down to retest this trend line here. Now, will we get our bounce at 14.5? I do think we'll probably get a bounce there, although if that breaks, we could go much lower. And if this really capitulates hard, maybe we will see the end of the bear market this year. I don't believe so. I think it's going to be drawn out, and I'll show you in detail how I'm looking at that. I'll also show you why I don't think we're going to see a new all-time high for probably at least 10 years. And that's not guaranteeing we ever even see a new all-time high. There's no guarantees in any markets, guys. Remember that. So looking at this on the daily, as you guys know, on the weekly, we came up with this target of 14.5. So I've kept it there since we talked about that. A few months back is when we put that in there. And the next level, if we look at this as a falling triangle or a descending triangle, the next level is about 77 to 7,800, right? I do believe that our false bottom is going to be around 75 to 8,500. And that'll probably be, if it plays out in my timeline, sometime in February or March. Then we'll get a rally up to maybe 14 or 16,000, get everyone super bullish again, to come down to make a new bottom towards the middle or end of next year, possibly as low as 35 to 4,500. I've called this ever since December 2nd last year. We've been talking about this. I do believe it is a very good possibility. Also, let's go into the 4-hour real quick before we go into the bigger time frames, and I'll give you my analysis and theory of how markets work and why. So anyways, we called this right here at 21.5. We didn't quite hit the 21.5, but damn, we were damn close. Obviously, if you were going to be short in there, you would have been laddering in before that, right? But that was just a measured move of the break of this right here. We called that back on October 22nd. It hit on November 22nd. So we called it a month prior to look for a short here, and boom, played out beautifully. I also spoke about once we broke this trend line that we were going to come down to the 14.5. I still believe that's where we're headed, at least. Again, if this 14.5 breaks, we could go down to lower targets, but that's where I'm starting to look for my first bounce, right? As you can see here in the 4-hour, we had been talking about these lower highs in the price action, higher highs in the RSI. What is that? Hidden bearish divergence. What is hidden bearish divergence? Hidden bearish divergence is a continuation of the trend. The trend is down. As of right now, as long as we stay below this 16.9, we're most likely going to go down to at least our 14.5. Now, if we are able to open and close a 4-hour above this 16.9, we've been talking about that. Our next stop is going to be this 55 EMA around 17.3, and then 17.8 is our 0.382 fib. And then, of course, all the way back up to the 18.3 range. If we get above that, then we maybe could get a little bullish. But until then, everything remains bearish, guys, as it has been for quite some time. This is the chart from December 2nd that we talked about. I explained exactly how bubbles pop. You get a big drop, and then you get a rally up. Everyone wishes they would have sold up here. It starts going back up. They get all bullish again. And then just for a continuation to make a new lower low, and then it gets bullish again on every little pump just to make lower lows, right? And then we have the big false bottom. These are how almost every bubble has popped, right? Does that mean Bitcoin goes to zero? No, never, ever, ever have I said that. I do believe Bitcoin, even if it never reaches a new all-time high, it's going to have bounces. There's going to be plenty of opportunity here, tons of opportunity. Lifetime, life-changing opportunities, right? You don't, people think they just want to buy something and it goes up forever. Well, those people bought, 10 years ago. that's not how this is working out right now. So definitely be cautious, be careful, guys. We've talked about this here on the RSI that we got a rejection here, just like we got last week on Bitcoin. Once it breaks, that's what everyone will get really bullish, right? And this was like 120% rally for the Amazon in the .com bubble, right? And this was what washed out all the scams. Now, this is what I'm looking for over here. Let me move this over so you can see it. Right here, we got our rejection, just like we got here. When we break this, I think we'll be at the false bottom sometime in February or March of next year. Get a false bottom, everyone will get bullish because a weekly trend line on the RSI was broken, right? Only to come back down for a new low towards the middle or end of next year, just like this did. Until the only way this is invalidated, in my opinion, is if we cross this 55 EMA, and that's around 28.8 now, and it just keeps getting lower. So anyways, this is what I talk about by show me the charts, I'll tell you the news. It's like the people involved in this, this is how they take people's money, right? So everyone's talking about the FTX is what did it. Well, then how did we predict this on December 2nd, right? Because they did all this. They created the news. They made this happen with the FTX. I know that sounds out there and far-fetched, but there's so many times in the charts that we have called this stuff before it happens, and then there's a news event that they blame it on. I don't know. I don't know how else to tell you except watch the channel. Make sure you're subscribed. We catch this stuff all the time. So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. And here is the Amazon compared to Bitcoin chart. This is Amazon. If we overlay it, they're both weekly, same time frame. Everything's playing out beautifully, guys. Also, this is the longer term. If it does play out like that, of course, none of this is financial advice. None of this is guaranteed. This is how I'm viewing the markets. And so far, it's been playing out beautifully. But as you can see, if we do hit that bottom sometime in middle or end of next year, which would be right here, which is, you know, and then what happened here? You made an inverse head and shoulders. If we do the same thing here, right? You might want to wait till you get all the way up here to really go all in, but I wouldn't suggest going all in on anything ever. You know, ladder in, you know, if we get down to these levels, you know, maybe 14.5 will be a good spot to buy some and then sell them, you know, 15, 16,000, see if it comes back down. But this false bottom, 75 to 8,500, may be a good place to get in because it could be a 100% rally. That also is not guaranteed, but it's definitely a possibility. Get in there. If it starts coming back down, get out with some profit. If we do hit these lows, 3,500, 4,500 range, that's not even guaranteed to be the bottom, right? It could go lower. It may not go as low, but somewhere in that range, I do expect to get a big bounce because everybody will be saying, there it is. For your halving cycle, it was a little late, but it's going to go, and they're going to be calling for 100,000. And then if it does play out like this, maybe in the middle or end of 2025, we could hit 35 to 45K, maybe somewhere in there. If you're watching the channel, we'll be keeping up on this. And of course, if this is invalidated, we'll keep up on that too. But so that would be what, you know, a 10x, 12x, all the way up to this range in 2025. And then coming back down again for a big correction, right? 14 to 18,000, middle or end of 2028. So that's a 3-year dump. And then another big rally all the way up to 58 to 62, maybe middle or end of 2029, only to dump again between maybe 20 and 30,000, middle or end of 2030, and then off to the races. Does that have to happen? Absolutely not. But so far, it's looking pretty valid. Now, this is the monthly chart. Everybody wants to focus on the weekly chart. If you look at the monthly chart, we are below our trend line RSI. Plenty of room to go to the downside, guys. Be careful there. Also, this is something I drew in the other day. Here you can see our rejection at the weekly RSI, but this is something I drew in what it may look like, something like this to get down to our bottom. So, you know, get a bounce here in the next couple weeks, rally, you know, get some ranging in here, drop down to hit our February or March 75 to 8,500 range, get another rally up to maybe 14.5-ish. and then continuation to the downside for the middle or end of next year. Again, this is not guaranteed, but so far, so good, playing out pretty damn good. If you guys don't follow me on Twitter, give me a follow. It's at CryptoSavvy1. Don't forget, guys, smash those thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you tick your notification bells. It'll get you notified when I post new videos. I will most likely be doing either tonight or tomorrow. I'll be doing my members only video where we're going to go over charts and look for opportunities in all markets. Depending on what you guys want to look at, it will be a live stream. If you want to join that, hit the join the membership button down below. But anyways, thanks for watching. Check out these videos up top. One is from December 2nd talking about this whole bubble theory, and the other is my Prime XBT tutorial. So definitely check them out if you haven't, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next video.